skill that is called soft skill, something we everyone, if we know, we should learn about it. And if we learn about it, that will change our way of doing things in the job. Doesn't matter what technology we are using. Maybe you guys are all civil. You may be civil, mechanical, computer, doesn't matter what it is. But those are the things very, very critical, which I was not aware. When I come to know about it, that, oh my God, I didn't know, nobody taught me about it. So now I started thinking that is the reason I wanted to pass those things to you guys. You start learning those information, get those details early on. It will help you have a great successful life for sure. I guarantee you that. But as long as you are willing to learn, it is available, it is exist, a lot of things are available. Yeah, you can find so many things about leadership, so many things about so many skill, but how do we know which one we want to learn and how we can implement in our life? So this is a great topic. In fact, I love this topic, leadership. So definitely it's a very deep subject. In fact, leadership is not something we can cover something in 1 hour. And also it is not one time learning and after that you just learn about it then forget it. No, it is continuous learning. So different aspect of it, and the different level you have a leadership role in different way. When you guys started out of the college and started working, and initially you may not have a team to lead, then slowly you get a team to lead, then it go on, go forth, and it never end there. As you know that leadership is not only in a job, it is outside also, everywhere. Anything you take about it, obviously leadership involved, but we may not know. So it's a huge subject, and I try to do justice within 1 hour, whatever the best, but I am available. If somebody is very much interested, they want to know more about it, uh, want me to help you, I am willing to help. The primary reason is that whatever I come to know about it later part of the life, I want you guys to know earlier so that your life and your generation life will change. So that is my goal. So having said that, I start the presentation now. Hmm, window. This is not coming. Let me bring that up. Yeah, got it. Not that much familiar with the Google Meet. So what I want to know is that move your guys' screen to somewhere else so that I can see what's going on. So you guys see the presentation. Anyone give some thumbs up or something? Unmute and say yes, no. Any acknowledgement? You guys see my presentation? Can anyone please send? Okay, got it. Thanks, Nega. So I'm going to go through. Definitely, the way I designed is to have an interactive session. Probably you guys might know that anyone coming and speaking always prefer to have an interactive session. The reason being is that it is not that something I know I just wanted to give everything just 1 hour and no matter whether you understand or not going. That is not the goal. The goal is to make you understand. Obviously, within 1 hour, you may not understand everything, but at least make you to think. That is very important because it is not something I came and said something, then you listen to that something interesting, something not. but after that you forget it. No, this is something for life. So leadership is everywhere. So I have some question. I don't know how well we can take it that. Let me see. So leadership, when it comes to the leadership, can anyone tell or at least ping me that what do you mean by leadership? Why did you guys choose this topic? What do you want to learn about the leadership? Can anyone can unmute, or in the chat box just put a message so that I can take it forward. I need some interaction. So let me start in the chat. What do you mean by leadership? What do you want to learn? What is in your mind about leadership? Why did you choose? Any questions? I'm not. You don't have to answer all the questions, but any question, any of my questions, anyone, any reference? So silent. Are you guys so tired? It should be other way around. I should be tired. Actually, it is 2:11, not PM, early morning. 2:11. And you guys are not responding. What happened? Anyway, so I don't know about too much about it. Let me move forward with that. So, in general, in online, if you say that leadership is influence, how do you influence positively others? It is not about, I don't know what's in your mind. Leadership is somebody will tell you what to do or give you instruction what to do. It is not that. That is not the real leadership. That is, we will come to that later. That is not the actual objective. Leadership is something you influence people to do things so that they succeed. More than you want to succeed, you want them to succeed. When you help them to succeed, obviously they are part of your team and you also succeed. That should be the first mindset we need to have when we think about the leadership. I'll give some references also. When you read those things, those are the books, you will understand. So, what is the key to the leadership? It's the priorities. When it comes to the leadership, what are the key aspect of the leadership? It's priorities, setting priorities, which is important. And there are a lot many things we can talk about it. That's a different subject altogether. Priorities in the sense urgent versus important versus critical, things like that. I'm not getting into that now. And next step is the foundation. What is the foundation of a leadership? It's character. It is nothing else. It's character. Doesn't matter how educated or not educated, things like that. It's always the character. That is very, very important. That is a foundation the leadership be built on. An ultimate test of a leadership when it comes, create whenever you make a creative positive change, whenever you create a positive change is a constant thing. It will be. And the quickest way to gain a leadership is the problem solving. Then when situation comes in, the leader is the one try to solve the problem, not run away from the problem. It doesn't matter what's happening. Leaders always think of a solution and work around and come up with something. That's what it meant. What is extra plus in leadership? In the sense, a leader, what they will have more, it's attitude. What I mean by that is that doesn't matter what is the situation, what is happening to them, they have a positive attitude all the time. They won't react, they respond. Just find out what is the difference between respond and react. I'm not going to tell. I want you guys to go and find out. So that is an attitude any leader will have. What is the heart of a leadership? What's their heart? It's serving people. As I have mentioned, that they always about the people. It is not about them, it is about other people. An indispensable quality of the leadership is vision. They always have a vision. It is not that they have a smaller, they don't never think about smaller level. They always have a bigger vision. They work towards that. No matter what is the reality, I can quote a lot of examples like how the Ford Motor Company owner did have the vision, and even for example, Apple. When Apple was found, and it is the guy Steve Jobs who had the vision that we want to have a phone without a button, and nobody couldn't believe, and everyone thought he is mentally off. Something happened to him, but he stick with that. He said that I want a phone. I don't want a button. I just want to touch. Now you see, everyone have the app. It is somebody else's vision, and he stay with that. Price tag. What is the price they pay? Self-discipline. I want you to little bit study about this. What they mean by that self-discipline, and how anyone can change their life if they have a self-discipline for themselves. Expansion of leadership is always a personal growth. In the sense, it's, I told you, right, it is not that something you start study and forget it's keep going. So it never be the case. So I would like to quickly have a time check. So roughly about to be maybe started looking at the time. It's just okay. So 15-20 minutes, I believe. I just would like to have a time check on myself so that I have a control the topic. Introvert. I thought of asking you questions. What do you mean by introvert? And what we mean by extrovert? And why we are talking about introvert, extrovert? Basically, since I don't want to wait more and more time and wait for your response. In general, when you talk about the introvert, there are few things comes. There are many, but I can take a few things about what they mean by introvert. Basically, introvert means it is not that they are shy. No, shy is not introvert. They basically they don't want to mingle with people. They don't want to be vocal about it. Just talk about it. They know the things. They don't want to talk about it. They never want to sell themselves. They never easy outgoing, things like that. Extrovert is directly opposite. Introvert, if you ask something, they think before they speak, but extrovert something, they just speak. What doesn't matter whether they whatever comes into their mind, they speak, they're socialize, and they go out, do things like that's what just I try to show it in the picture that I thought I can bring some points and put it here. The reason I put these slides, what is introvert and what is extrovert, and then going back to this, that is any of this introvert, whatever we call it as an introvert or extrovert, any of these things related with leadership? No, it is not at all. Introvert is something kind of a characteristics, but leadership is something doesn't matter whether you can be introvert, but you can still be a leader. The great example is our Mahatma Gandhi. You know that I don't know whether you guys studied about Mahatma Gandhi. You know, he started his college in India. I think within 3 months he quit because he couldn't tolerate. He couldn't think that he could read. Means go to the college and study well. Then they sent him to UK, and there he wanted to come many times, but because family spend money, things like that, he just stayed with that. When he come back, he started his own lawyer practice. The first case, the first time he wanted to stand up and speak, his legs were trembling and things like that. So he couldn't even spell a word, and he hand over the case to somebody else and leave the attorney office. So that is where he started. He's completely introvert. But do you know, today we are talking about him. He led millions of people. So the point I am making is that we don't have to worry about, suppose if you are very introvert, very calm, you don't want to speak, but does not necessarily mean that you don't have a leadership quality. We'll talk about it also. Now, become more effective leader. How we can become more effective leader? I'm just going through. Before that, if you look at the slide, I'm just talking about leadership versus management. You know, managers in any organization, a manager is a manager. He can be a leader, but not all the managers are leaders. So here is the difference. You see on the left side is the leadership, right side is the management. And what is the purpose? When it comes to leadership, they dealing with the change all the time. But when you look at the manager, they deal with only complexity. Anything they have complexity, they want to take it up and try to solve the problems. Does not mean that the leaders solve the problem. It's a different aspect. Leadership is focused on thinking, change, and innovation, doing the right things. When it comes to management, it's just doing. All they basically it is why versus how. Um, Maybe if I get into that, that is going to be a different topic. Um, Basically, how is means how you do things, whatever, and why is something why you do what you do. Suppose tomorrow, if I ask you guys, all everyone come to Madurai. So most of you are not going to ask me that, hey Ravi, should we have to take a bus or take our car? Or how do you want to come? No, that is how. You are not going to ask me whether I want to come this way, that way. No. First question is that why should I come to Madurai? Because if you don't have the why, if I say that okay in Madurai I'm going to do things, if it is not relevant, you're not going to come. So the how part doesn't matter. So the management thing is kind of a focused on the how part of it. And the third is doing things right, management, and doing the right things. There's an example when a group of people go and cut the tree to get out of the forest. Assume that they got into the forest and try to cut the trees and take a way to get out. And when it comes to the manager just look at all the people, how well they are cutting the tree, what size they are cutting the tree, that it's a narrow path, everything. But leader, somebody climb on the tallest tree and see where exactly the direction we need to go. That is what leader. And main process skills, just formulating essence, versus the planning projects. Leaders are influencing, and managers are kind of a problem solving. And orientation, what orientation they have? They oriented that they talk about the future, and manager talk about the present. And leadership always talk about the long term and short term, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go the entire thing. I hope it makes sense. Just interpretation. So essential leadership skill and qualities. What is needed? If you think about leadership, what are the essential skills? It is not limited with only this. As I mentioned that it's a big subject and it's a lot to cover. And I'm trying to come up with the topic and um, and details which can help you understand at your level. So that, but when you start at one level, then slowly you build on top of it. Anyone is interested. So one of the essential skill and quality is emotional intelligence. They call this EQ. Just study about that. What is the EQ versus IQ? IQ is something, say for example, how well we answer any questions, whatever, whatsoever. So EQ is emotional intelligence is something how emotionally you are balanced. Do you know about yourself? Do you know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses? Do you control your emotions? Things like that. Employee engagement, what it means is that whatever the leader does, they engage other people and they will let them do certain things. It is not that they do all the time. They also delegate work to other people. They trust them to do the things. And it is a combined thing. They never say that I am the only one want to do and you guys just watch or just give a small chunk of work to them to do and he get the name. No, it is not. It's a collaboration. Negotiation is one of the skill definitely needed as a leader. It is not, negotiation means basically we think of money. It is not only money, anything. Suppose if you are a leader, if you're a manager, your director is calling and assigning a project, and you're already in a project, you have limited resources. I'm just throwing an example. That time you have to negotiate with your director that, hey, already I have committed so much things. So now you tell me which one you want to take because it is up to you which one you want me to prioritize. So those are the negotiation skills. Just an example. Decision making, very, very important. And also when you make decisions, you take as a collaborative as a team. Organizational change management. Change, as I have mentioned, that it's constant. It happens all the time. Change always happen. So we need to accommodate the change as soon as possible. Otherwise, we'll go backward. And we have seen a lot of companies who didn't accommodate the changes. They gone backward. Like even the great company Sony, like that. They took a while. I think they are still there, but not like the time that before we have seen it. Sony was the top of everything, but they never accommodated the digital age changes. They went backward. And the companies now, when COVID hit, and you and me today, we are talking because of the change. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. If you want to have everyone assemble at one hall and talking, it not everyone can do that, right? We can have now more resources. Those are the things. Now, developing as a leader. First, what you do is that you assess where you are professionally, whatever it is. Just assess where you are. Take some help, take some reading, take some um, mentor or colleague, whoever it is, work together and take some assessment, set up attainable goal in the sense based on the assignment, when whatever you find needs an improvement, set some goal for that and improve, work towards that. And engage in leadership training. Obviously, yes, try to engage. This is how you develop. It is not that it's one day thing. Like I have mentioned, that interact with your network on your soft skill. Soft skill is one of the important thing. When you become a leader, you know how to deal with people. How do you deal with the people's emotions? How do you deal with your own emotions? Things like that. It is not that you give a set of instructions, people do it and come back. No, it is you have to understand people. When you thinking about leader, it is always not only about you, it is about other people as well. It's a combination of everything. So before I go into this next topic, in general, I thought of asking, but since I couldn't get a chance to speak to you, I couldn't have the interactive session. When you talk about the leadership, don't think only about you have a lot of people. When you have a lot of people, then you are a leader. No, actually, the toughest person you ever lead, you know who that is? It's you. That is the toughest person you ever lead. So lead yourself first and be a leader wherever it is. Doesn't matter. It may be in the sense it does not see somebody giving you a position as a leader. That is a positional leader, but you don't need to have a position, but still you lead, take initiative. You can collaborate. You take a leadership in the sense you come forward and take initiative. Does not necessarily needs to be a extrovert. It can be introvert. I have some pointers about it. So leadership starts from you and starts from your house and it goes beyond. Then it goes when you go into the work or when you go into the public, it will get expanded because the leadership is everywhere it is applicable. It is succeed as an introvert leader. This is something just I included, although as I have mentioned that it doesn't matter whether you are introvert or extrovert, you can still lead. So take that in your out of your mind that, oh, I am introvert, I cannot. No, nothing to do with leadership, whether you are introvert or extrovert. So here are the tips. Just if you are introvert person, take advantage of your personality strength. What are those? Maybe you won't talk, but what you can do is that you can communicate via other mode. You can send out an email, whatever it is. That is also one of the point here. And use your active listening skill. Active listening is something very, very critical. See, there is a difference between hearing, there is a difference between listening. You may hear me now talking, but are you listening? I don't know. When you listen means you are not only you just hear, and your mind, heart, soul, everything is also here. Then only it is listening. That is what it meant, active listening. And the build relationship with one-on-one meetings, in the sense because you don't want to stand up and talk to the people in the whole, maybe 10-15 people to start with. Okay, don't do that. Just one-on-one meeting, build relationship so that you can communicate, you can get the input and do whatever you want to do. Set time aside to recharge. That is your private time, that is me time, whatever you want to call this. Always, because if you think you are introvert, you might want to have a just take a separate time that will help you to recharge and step out of your comfort zone. This is something I very much insist to everyone. Comfort zone is, after a while, what happened, suppose once we started going to a job, particular set of job, and we settle down, now we know what to do, and even middle of the night somebody wake you up and ask you to do, you will do. Now you know what you do, you don't learn anything outside of it, you don't do anything extra, you just want to stay with that because you don't want to take a risk. It's a comfort zone. The moment you stay in the comfort zone, you are going backwards, because the world is moving forward. Although if you don't learn new things and move forward, when the world move forward, now you don't have to go backward, you are obviously backward because you are not moving. So never ever stay in the comfort zone. Speak up. Anything you want to say, speak up. You don't have to yell, you have to be very much sound about it. No, just even calm, smooth voice, you can speak up. Doesn't matter if there is any meeting or anything, either raise your hand and stand up and speak. Some of the time we don't speak, we might think that, oh, what if everyone think that we are stupid, we are asking stupid question. Never ever think like that. You may be stupid once, but if you ask that question that time, we don't even know. Don't worry about all those things, because don't worry about what other people think about what you want. So that is one of the reason people always held back, they don't ask questions. Never ever do that. If you think that you don't know, you want to ask, speak up. Give and receive feedback. When you work as a team, work with the people, just have somebody and ask the feedback from them. Also give a feedback to the other people. Delegate jobs, in the sense basically give other work, and basically it will build trust between you and whoever is getting those tasks from you, because you are trusting them, because you're supposed to do something, you're trusting them and giving the task and believing that they will also do that. And take advantage of your writing skill. Like I have mentioned, that whatever is strength, use it. Include team members in the brainstorming. Anything we don't know you want to do, just pull people out, just go to the board, just whatever it is. Brainstorming is something, what you do, that you don't limit the thinking. Go with the problem statement, write it down. Hey, this is my problem. Say for example, let us assume that today we had an audio problem. Now we can take this as an example. Okay, we had an audio problem. So what could be the reasons? And combine with a group of people, put them in a room and ask, and what we can do, what could be the reason, is there anything we can do, whatever, whoever come, and just write it down. At the end of the day, you'll get a better solution than anything else. It's an example. So these are some good reads with respect to leadership. I highly recommend the book Magic of Thinking Big. That is the first book I want you guys to read. I know you guys are different than anyone else. Anyone else are looking for artificial intelligence, this and that. I am not telling that wrong with that. Definitely you need that, but you guys start a little bit outside the box, thinking about leadership. And if you start reading such a book, it will change your life for better, for sure, guarantee. And as long as you are willing to learn, put yourself effort and willing to learn and move forward with that, it is assurance, guaranteed, that you will be able to be very successful in your life. The Magic of Thinking Big is nothing to do with the leadership, but it's a great book to start with. And for the leadership, maybe you can start with the developing the leader within you, the first one. And some of the pointers I took it from that book only. Whoever read will find out. And the second one is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Both are written by the leadership guru, John Maxwell. He has written a lot of successful books. You can see that they have 25th anniversary edition, or 4 million copies sold. Each book is like that. So that much valuable, those books. Definitely, I highly recommend. Have a reading habit outside of whatever you read for your college education. You have to read something, at least one page per day to start with. and you will see the change, because your thinking will change. When you think right, you will achieve anything you want. You can be very, very successful. You have to trust me, you have to believe me. If you think that I can able to will help you in some of the things, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. So I'm sure I make some sense. So that's all I just wanted to share. So thank you very much. I'm open for any questions now. No questions? That means you understand everything, or you understand nothing at all. I hope not the second one. Thank you. Yes. Someone raise the hand. Okay, maybe I'll just stop presenting. I have given my details. So if you guys think that you need the uh, presentation, it might help. I don't mind sharing it with you through who is organizing this. Let me stop presenting. No questions? So you guys are 12:07. Okay. Okay. I'm done. I'm open for questions. If there's no questions, we can close. Someone is trying to say something. I couldn't hear that properly. Sorry. Kaliraj. Looks like we have some audio problems still, right? Okay. So anything, reach out to me. You guys, your coordinators know my contacts, and I have shared my email. And I have planned to come to uh, India during November. Definitely, I'll talk to you guys. You want to come to college? It's for a while. Never been to college after we moved out. A lot of things changed. I hope to see you, some of you guys.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
On behalf of my college, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our alumni, Mr. Ravi, who spared time from his busiest schedule to grace the webinar. Today, we had an opportunity to hear information about how to improve leadership quality from introvert to extrovert. Thank you, sir.
Sure. No problem. So there was a question that what are the qualifications needed to attain your position? Whatever you have is enough. You don't need any extra qualification. All you need is that first set that what you want, and find out what it takes to go there, work towards that. Doesn't matter how much you know, you can still get it. Nothing can stop you. The only problem with everyone is the thinking problem. We think that we are not qualified, we think that we are not capable of doing. No, Not at all. Again, Kaliraj, go back, buy that book, read that book. You will understand. Buy that book. And feel free to reach out to me if I didn't answer your question, or if you have some other thing, if you want to have one-on-one, I'm willing to help. Okay, the next question is what you have done to reach the position. Okay, fine. So wherever I started, I'm just giving in general. Whatever I started the work, I give my full heart. Whatever I do, suppose if I am given a particular task in any job, I will do the task whether my supervisor or manager is watching or not, asking question on that. I always true to myself, I honest to myself, I do my best, I will treat customer as if I am the customer. So because of that, I have a good customer relationship built, and also review. And outside of that, if suppose I have to do 1 to 10 tasks, I will always do something more. It is not that I am not getting paid more that particular month or particular year, but over a period of time, whatever that habit of doing more help me to keep me at the different level. I get paid back indirectly because of the way I am doing thing, the mindset I have. Because I never do things means I want to do the minimum and get the maximum. No, that is not be my mindset. That is a mindset I have. That is the reason I was able to change any job, and I'll fight for it. I never give up. I'll fight for it. I fail, I will struggle. I had situations where I have made mistakes. Never ever afraid of making mistakes. Mistake is the place you learn. When you do everything right, you don't learn anything, because when mistake happens, that is where you will try to learn, try to fix the problem. You learn a lot. So never ever afraid of making mistakes. Only thing is that don't repeat the same mistakes. Okay, the next question is about how do you motivate your team while they are facing obstacles. So suppose the team is not able to cope up with the project timeline, for example, and we will what we do that we kind of take what is the problem, like go to the room and put it in a board. What is the problem? Do a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, things like that. So what are the strength? What we have? So what are the outcome? So what we have in your mind. So those are the brainstorm thing. Do with the team. It is not that I give instruction. I do with them. I do with them. I will make them to think. That was one of my agenda today. I was trying to ask more and more questions. The reason being is that I want you guys to think. If I say everything, I don't know, you always listen. When you listen, you don't think. When I ask question, now you started thinking. When you started thinking and answering, now you have a better understanding. So that I work with the team when they have obstacles. I will be always with them, and I will not give a solution, but I give a direction, but I stay with them. But finally, when the solution is coming, I will make sure that I evaluate, and I will tell that why this is the right solution, and they can go ahead and do that. That's how I do it. And if suppose if something is not happening right the way it is expected, I never blame them. I take the blame. If it's rewarded, I will give the credit to them. Okay. Lot of questions. Jay Prakash, why did you get switched from manufacturing industry to software industry? Oh, that time it was like 2002. There is a software boom happened. That time I didn't have any of this knowledge outside of my job, things like that. Everyone moving towards the software, so I did. Simple. That time that was my decision. But the good thing is that I never give up. I struggled a lot initially. I had to face a lot of challenges, but I never gave up because I decided, I know my mindset was clear, because I know I might end up working with people who started software industry junior than me. I was ready. Mentally, I was ready. So it never be a problem for me. I continue to struggle and fight and succeed. Now I think I'm very comfortable. Now after the one change, now I was able to change many things. Even my recent job, that's what I did. Okay, it's completely different. It's a 1 year. Whatever I have done, I drop everything. In the sense, I don't use this. I know that, but I decided to change. I did that. I hope that answered your question. What is the one thing you feel great about yourself and one mistake that you regret during this journey? See, one great about myself is that one thing I can say that I always honest to myself. If I know that I did not give 100% for anything, I will not go back and complain that it is not working. I'll never go back and say that it is not working or it is not right, things like that. I always honest to myself. That's I believe that is one thing. And second thing is that persistency. I persistent. I never stop. Doesn't matter how much time it take, how long it is take. I never stop. I always persistent and I succeeded. I think those are the two. And mistake, well, a lot of mistakes. I don't think I regret because of those mistakes. I think things got changed. I learned. I wouldn't say that this is the biggest mistake. I wouldn't change. People always say that if I now I go back to my college days, I would have done that. I would have did that. See, imagine that if I went back to my college days, means 89. Now I have a lot of knowledge with the mindset. How can I go back to during 1989? No, I will. When I go back, my mindset also going back. So I don't think I agree to that kind of a such a situation as then now you improve yourself. No, I don't think it's just life. Learn from all the mistakes and move forward. Did you ever feel regret for your leadership? I never felt regret, but I made mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, and I know that. But I will make sure that always I learn from the mistake. I will not repeat it. And if I need to apologize, I apologize. That is one thing I feel proud of. If I need to say apologize, I say that. I never stop. And is there any question I missed? The one thing, one good thing is about I think I repeat the same thing: the persistency and honest to myself. And Dinesh Mani, how are you feeling about yourself that you have reached too far from the journey of start till now? I am proud of myself. I still learning a lot. It is never been, and yeah, sometimes I think that thank I what if I know early on. That is one of the reason I'm here today. See, I cannot go back and learn all those things, but at least the future generation can benefit. Whatever I missed, I can give it to guy. That's what I'm doing to my son, and that's what I'm doing to you guys. I don't think my if I would got married early and I would have got son age like you and my college mates have even grandkids. So I'm old enough to be your father. So that's what I'm doing, and that's to my son, and also wanted to do the same thing for you guys. I cannot go back, so I at least you guys get benefit. Whatever I missed, at least you don't miss it. So that is something, one of the main reason I wanted to give it back, you guys. Any other questions I missed? Yeah. Anything specific? If I did not answer any of your questions, let me know. I hope I answered. I gone through, I answered all the questions. Let me know anything specific to this area. Um, See, I don't mind teaching technical thing which I learn, but I more towards teaching such a skill, a leadership, any soft skill, people skill, because nobody teach that. I want to do that for other people because I benefited out of it. I want to give the benefit. So anything, if you think that you want to learn or know, feel free. Any other question?
Sorry, sir. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable time and webinar on this wonderful topic. Hope we can meet you again in another webinar, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Great talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, guys. Bye bye.